Welcome back. So, for today's deep dive, we are unpacking something that, well, you probably felt it. I know I have. We're talking about self-doubt.
Oh, yeah. Everybody deals with it.
Right. But we are actually flipping the traditional script on its head today. The mission here is to help you use that exact feeling of doubt to become, way more persistent, way more resilient.
Exactly. And to do that, we're pulling from a really fascinating source today. We've got insights from former Navy SEALs, and they're arguing that we should actually be embracing self-doubt, not running away from it.
Which sounds completely wild at first. But to kick us off, there's this quote often attributed to Steve Jobs, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it basically says that the line between massive success and utter failure is just perseverance.
Yeah, it's just mathematics at that point.
Right. Like if you just keep taking steps forward, no matter how ugly or slow they are, you still mathematically have a chance. But the literal second you quit, that's it. All hope is lost. The probability of success drops to absolute zero.
It becomes a binary thing. You're either in the game or you're out.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because nobody starts a massive project, whether that's launching a startup or writing a book, with the intention of giving up. But then you hit a wall, right? The funding dries up, the spreadsheet breaks, and naturally doubt sets in.
Yeah, it's a predictable cascade effect.
Yeah.
And the source details exactly how this works. Doubt isn't just an emotion. It acts like a slow leak in a high-pressure tire.
Oh, I like that visual.
Right. So when doubt sets in, it starts actively draining your willpower. And once the willpower is gone, your determination erodes.
It just chips away at it.
Exactly. And without determination, your daily motivation vanishes completely. So when you have zero motivation left, your body and mind just shut down. You quit.
Which guarantees failure. It's this whole waterfall effect. And because we subconsciously know that doubt is at the very top of that waterfall, we've developed a complete phobia of it.
Oh, 100%. We treat it like an infection.
Yeah. We think the only way to chase a goal is with blinding 24/7 confidence. So the second that little voice is like, hey, maybe you actually can't do this, we panic. We force a smile, we repeat positive affirmations, and we just desperately try to shove the self-doubt into a dark closet and lock the door.
Which is the fundamental flaw in our entire approach. And the reality check from these guys who operate in the most extreme environments on Earth is that you absolutely shouldn't be avoiding it.
You shouldn't try to hide it.
No, not at all. Because doubt isn't a disease, It's not a sign of weakness. It's a built-in biological guarantee whenever you try to accomplish something hard.
It's like, it makes me think about trying to hold a giant beach ball underwater.
Oh, yeah, that's a good analogy.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
you can do it for a little while, but it takes an enormous amount of energy to keep shoving it down. Energy you should probably be using to actually swim forward. And eventually, your arms get tired, you slip, and the thing comes launching out of the water and smacks you in the face. It seems so much easier to just let it float right beside you. But actually, wait, let me push back on this for a second.
Yeah, go for it.
Because we just said that doubt is the leak in the tire, right? It drains our willpower. So if it's actively draining our motivation, how can we possibly just accept it? If I let the beach ball of doubt just float next to me, isn't it going to sit there and sink my goals anyway?
What's fascinating here is that the danger isn't the doubt itself.
Okay.
The danger is entirely in how your brain interprets the doubt. Most of us see it as a final verdict. We think the universe is handing down an objective measurement telling us you don't have what it takes.
Ah, I see. We think the feeling of doubt means we're actually going to fail. We confuse the two.
Precisely. And to decouple those two things, the feeling of doubt and the act of failing, we have to look at environments designed to completely break the human will.
Like BUDS training.
Yes. Enter retired Navy SEAL Sean Haggerty. He went through BUDS, which is essentially the ultimate crucible. It's designed to simulate the stress of combat, push you past your limits, and literally make you want to quit.
Right. For you listening, if you only know BUDS from the movies, the attrition rate is insane. It's upwards of 70 or 80%.
It's devastating. But during this extreme training, Haggerty had this massive realization. He realized he had to force a hard separation in his mind between doubting himself and accepting failure.
But how do you do that? I mean,
Yeah.
when you're carrying a 300-pound boat on your head and you're freezing, how do you separate them?
He unpacked his internal monologue, and it's brilliant. He decided to go to the absolute extreme of acceptance. He knew he was going to experience agonizing doubt, and he didn't try to fight it with fake confidence.
So no toxic positivity.
None. Instead, he made this non-negotiable pact with himself. He said, if I fail, I fail. But what I will never do is quit.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because there's this weird paradox in what he did there. By explicitly giving himself permission to fail, he actually removed the self-imposed pressure that makes people ring the bell and quit.
Yes. He took the anxiety off the final outcome.
Right, and he just redirected all that energy into staying in the process.
And that exposes how most of our limits are just self-imposed delusions.
Mm-hmm.
When we feel doubt, our brain hits the panic button. We interpret it as, I can't. But Haggerty completely redefined it.
How so?
He realized doubt doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means the task is really, really difficult and you have to figure out a way to keep moving.
It's the difference between a stop sign and a steep grade warning on a mountain road.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, a stop sign is a verdict. It says the road ends, you cannot proceed. But a steep grade warning just says, hey, this next stretch is going to take a lot of torque, the engine's going to scream, but just keep your foot on the gas.
That is exactly it. Doubt is your internal steep grade warning.
But I'm going to play devil's advocate again.
Do it.
Knowing philosophically that doubt is just a warning sign sounds great when we're, sitting here with coffee. But when you are deeply in the trenches, when you're physically or mentally overwhelmed, a mantra like, I won't quit, isn't going to override your survival instincts.
You're completely right. When the cognitive dissonance gets too loud, philosophy fails.
Yeah.
So to see how to actually operationalize this, we turn to Hell Week.
Ugh, just the name alone is awful.
Yeah, it starts Sunday evening and goes until Friday afternoon. You're constantly wet, constantly freezing. And the source notes that candidates get maybe 2 hours of sleep total, usually around Wednesday.
2 hours and 5 days.
Yeah, so by day 3, you are hallucinating.
Wow. So in that state, looking at a 5-day ordeal, positive self-talk is a joke. You can't just be like, I'm a tiger, I got this, when you know you have 96 hours of torture left.
Right, your brain aggressively rejects the lie. And this brings us to a tactic from another retired SEAL, Andy Stumpf. He says there are 2 ways to look at BDS. First way, you look at it as a 180-day program and Hell Week as a 5-day mountain of suffering. If you look at the macro scale, the doubt will crush your willpower instantly. It's just too big.
So what's the second way?
The second way, the one Stumpf used, is to absolutely refuse to think about Friday. You only think about your next meal.
Stacking the 6 hours.
Exactly.
Because even in Hell Week, they have to feed you every 6 hours. So Stumpf didn't care about surviving 5 days. He just told his brain, I just have to survive until they hand me food.
He stacked 6 hours on top of 6 hours. He pushed through the cold by focusing entirely on getting that mental reprieve of a meal and then resetting the clock.
It's like climbing a massive mountain. If you stand at the bottom and stare at the peak, you're going to quit. But if you just look at your own boots and focus on the next 3 steps, you survive.
And psychologically, what Stumpf did was brilliant. He took a major doubt surviving 5 days and transformed it into a small doubt surviving until breakfast.
It totally bypasses the panic response. So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Because realistically, you aren't doing Hell Week. You aren't in the freezing surf.
Probably not, yeah.
You're trying to write a huge dissertation, or you're leading a startup, or you're staring at 50 open browser tabs trying to reinvent your career. How do we apply stacking 6 hours to that?
It's all about digestible perspectives.
Yeah.
It's how you structure your relationship with the goal. If you approach things from a micro perspective, you bypass the cognitive overload. You don't wake up and say, I'm going to build $1 million company today.
Right, that just causes panic.
Exactly. You wake up and say, I'm going to write one single email before 9 a.m.
You just focus on the boots, you close the 49 other tabs and write the email.
You stack the meals, hit the micro goal, get the dopamine hit, take a breath, set the next one. But there's another layer here for everyday life that's super powerful.
What's that?
The ultimate reframe from the text is that we need to stop seeing doubt as a character flaw and start using it as a diagnostic tool.
A diagnostic tool? So, how does that actually work?
Well, instead of seeing doubt as a verdict telling you to quit, you see it as an early warning system.
Right.
It's an indicator that you need to adapt, innovate, or optimize something before the doubt gets so overwhelming that you actually do quit.
Oh. It's exactly like a check engine light on a car.
Yes. Perfect analogy.
When you're driving and that yellow light comes on, you don't instantly pull over, throw your keys in the woods, and abandon the car.
I mean, I hope you don't.
Right. You don't view the light as a verdict that you're a terrible driver. It's just the car saying, hey, long journey ahead, but something under the hood needs attention. Check the oil, check the tires. You fix the small problem and you keep driving.
That is the exact way to contextualize it. Self-doubt is your psychological check engine light. When you feel it, it's just your subconscious saying, hey, this current strategy isn't working perfectly.
Or maybe you're just fatigued.
Exactly. You're fatigued, you're lacking a resource, or your perspective got way too broad. It's an invitation to innovate.
You adjust the strategy before the engine blows up.
Yes, you acknowledge it, decode what it means, and calibrate.
Man, this is such a paradigm shift, because if we really internalize what Haggerty and Stump did, doubting yourself isn't a red flag. It doesn't mean you're an imposter. It just means you are trying to accomplish something highly difficult.
Which is the ultimate silver lining here. The source's final conclusion is that self-doubt is actually a really good thing, because it proves you're attempting something worthwhile. You're stretching your capabilities.
If you never feel doubt, you're probably just coasting on a flat, safe road.
Precisely. And that actually leads me to a final thought I want to leave you with. We spent this whole time talking about our own internal doubt. But think about the people around you. Your team, your partner, your kids.
Oh, that's interesting.
When they come to us and express self-doubt, our instinct is to rush in and erase it. Right? We say, "You're amazing, don't worry." But if experiencing self-doubt is the primary indicator that you are attempting something truly worthwhile, well, what does a complete lack of doubt say about the goals you're currently setting for yourself? Are you really pushing your limits, or are you just playing it safe?
Wow. Are you just playing it safe? That completely flips how I'll think about my own goals and how I react to other people's doubt. Instead of just hyping them up, maybe we need to help them look under the hood.
Exactly.
Well, that's a question that'll definitely stick with you. The next time you feel that heavy beach ball of doubt, don't waste your energy trying to drown it. Just shrink your world. Focus on the next few steps and keep your foot on the gas. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Now go check your engine and tackle that next big goal. We'll catch you next time.